Hey everybody, happy Friday and happy end of the school year. I'm sure you're all excited to get to summer holiday plans and activities, but today we're going to be talking about the conditionals. It's going to be a review because we've done a video on conditionals before and you can go back and check that out. But now we're going to do a review. So let's get started. First conditional. The zero conditional talks about real present situations. The first conditional talks about real future possibilities. If the weather is nice, we will go for a walk. If you don't apologize, she will never trust you again. The if clause is in present simple, while the main clause is future simple. Unless equals if not is also possible. Example, unless the weather is nice, we won't go for a walk. Unless you apologize, she'll never trust you again. Real future possibilities. So the condition is whether it's sunny or rainy tomorrow. The result being, we'll go to the beach or to the movies. So here's today. If it's sunny, we'll go to the beach. But if it rains, we won't go to the beach. We'll go to the movies. We can also reverse the order of the condition and result in the sentence, with no change in meaning. We'll go to the beach if it's sunny tomorrow, or we'll go to the movies if it rains tomorrow. Second conditional. Now we'll take those wishes one step further and imagine the result. Imagine what would happen if they were currently true. This is the second conditional. If I lived near the mountains, I would go hiking every weekend. If my boyfriend didn't work so much, we'd go out more often. If I had a lot of money, I would buy a big house. If I knew his number, I would phone him. The if clause is in past simple tense, while the main clause is in conditional simple, which is would, might, or could with the infinitive. We use would when the result is more definite or certain. If Peter asked Karen out, she would say yes. We use might when the result may or may not happen. If Peter asked Karen out, she might say yes, or she might say no. We use could to talk about possibilities or abilities. If I had $1 million, I could buy a helicopter. I could live in a mansion. I could quit my job. Which one is correct? If I was rich, I'd buy a boat. Or if I were rich, I'd buy a boat. Using the second conditional, we know that. If Dana was here right now, she'd agree. Or if Dana were here right now, she'd agree. Technically, the correct answer is were in both cases. Even though the subject is singular, we use were when talking about hypothetical situations. However, informally, more and more people are saying sentences like these with was when the subject is singular. It's not correct, but it is common. To be on the safe side, it's best to stick with were. One very common phrase for giving advice is in the second conditional. If I were you, I'd. Jack wants to buy a house, but he can't do this because he doesn't have any money. If I had a lot of money, I would buy a big house. I wish I had a lot of money to buy a big house. Susan wants to phone Paul, but she can't do this because she doesn't know his number. If I knew his number, I would phone him. I wish I knew his number. Let's get some practice in. So complete the sentences with the verbs in the correct tenses. Pay careful attention to which part of the sentence is the condition and which part is the result. When possible, abbreviate would to D. If you eat a healthy breakfast, you have more energy. If you ate a healthy breakfast, you'd have more energy. This is changing the would and contracting it to you'd. You'd have more energy. I'd call him if I had his number. If he were more organized, he wouldn't forget so many things. And how long it take if we hire someone to do this work? How long would it take if we hired someone to do this work? The first versus the second conditional. If John runs fast, he will win the race. This is still possible to happen. If John ran fast, he would win the race. This is unlikely to happen because John doesn't run fast. First and second conditional, both conditionals refer to the present and future. The difference is about probability, not time. The first conditional is real and possible situations. The second conditional means unlikely to happen. Now let's take a look at the third conditional, or imagining that the past had been different. Let's imagine a different past using wish for hypothetical past situations. Use wish plus past perfect, had, and past participle. For example, I was late for work today. I wish I had woken up 15 minutes earlier. I wish I hadn't eaten that seafood yesterday. It made me sick. That sucks. This is used to express regret, such as for eating that seafood, or past situations that you wanted to be different, such as wishing you had woken up earlier. Now we'll take those two wishes one step further, imagining the result in the past if that past situation had been different. If I had woken up 15 minutes earlier, I would have arrived on time. If I hadn't eaten that seafood yesterday, I wouldn't have got sick. The if clause is in the past perfect simple, had, and the past participle, while the main clause is in the conditional perfect, would, could, or might, plus have, plus past participle. Some other examples include, if we had brought our camera, we might have taken a picture. Sarah could have learnt French if she had taken lessons. The third conditional refers to the past, and it is not based on facts. It expresses an impossible situation. Jack wanted to buy a house last year, but he couldn't do that because he didn't have any money. If I had had a lot of money, I would have bought a big house. Yesterday, Susan wanted to phone Paul, but she couldn't do that because she didn't know his number. If I had known his number, I would have phoned him. Second versus the third conditional. If I saw a car accident, I would call an ambulance. But I don't see an accident now. This is unlikely to happen. If I had seen a car accident, I would have called an ambulance. But I didn't see an accident yesterday. The difference. The difference is about time. The second conditional refers to the present and future, while the third conditional refers specifically to the past situations. So a little bit of rephrasing. I'm not rich, so I don't travel a lot. Resaid, we could say it like, if I were rich, I'd travel a lot. She didn't wake up early, so she missed the train. If she had woken up early, she wouldn't have missed the train. I didn't call you because I came back really late. I would have called you if I had come back earlier. He doesn't have a job. That's why he can't buy a house. If he had a job, he would be able to buy a house. He had that terrible accident because he wasn't careful. If he had been careful, he wouldn't have had that terrible accident. If I didn't work hard, so I didn't pass the exam. If I had worked hard, I would have passed the exam. They can't live in this country because they can't find a job here. They'd live in this country if they found a job here. Visiting Israel won't be possible without a visa. Unless you have a visa, you won't be able to visit Israel, or it will be impossible to visit Israel. Nice quick review of all the conditionals. The zero. If it rains, the grass gets wet. A general time reference. If it rains today, you will get wet. You don't have an umbrella. This is still possible to happen. If it rained, you would get wet. But the sky is blue. This is unlikely to happen. And if it had rained yesterday, you would have got wet. But it didn't rain, so you didn't get wet, because it's a past situation. Thanks for sticking it out, guys. Alright guys, thank you again, and once again, thank you so much for watching my videos. I hope that they've helped you out in any way, shape, or form, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great summer.